Please take your seats. School is now in session.
Welcome to Homeschooled Podcast.
Homeschool.
The Homeschool Podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
It's time to document the journey.
Welcome back to Homeschool Podcast. It's me, Agostino Zoida, coming at you in a good mood. I'm in a happy mood. I hope you guys are too. It's good to hear from you. Hopefully you're happy to hear from me. I want to thank anybody who's been coming out to any shows. I haven't done any road shows since the last time I talked to you guys, which was New York. But in the last week or two, I've been just doing like local spots. If you guys came out to any of those shows, thank you very much. It was a work in progress. It was me getting through some shit, working on a lot of new stuff right now, so I really, really appreciate it. Here's what I got coming up for you, though. I do have some road gigs coming up, which I'm extremely excited for. Next weekend, I will be in San Diego, specifically La Jolla, at the La Jolla Comedy Store, and I am thrilled to be featuring and working with what my good friend and just a beast legend comic, Jimmy Schubert. So I mean, not to mention it's just so fun hanging out with him and working with him, even off stage, just hanging around. But I mean, you guys couldn't be getting a better duo here. The combination of me and him, me first, then he comes out and he just fucking slaughters. I mean, this is definitely a show you don't want to miss if you're in the San Diego area. Come on out. We're there the entire weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's April 21st through the 23rd, and Friday, Saturday, I believe, has late shows too. So you got a lot of options to catch us. Don't miss us. After that, I got Memorial Weekend. That Saturday, I am in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm returning to the High Cotton Brewery, which is dope. If you haven't been there, you got to go because their back room, they got a nice stage. It's actually like a nice little theater back there. Beautiful chandeliers hanging. A lot of history is on that street. Legendary musicians coming out of there. I got a jazz band opening up for me. I got a couple of great comics opening up for me, and I'm excited to be back there. That's May 27th, and then the next day, May 28th, which is Sunday, the day before Memorial Day, I'm in Michigan. All right, we're in Shelby Township, Michigan, and I'm excited to be back there. And I forgot to tell you before that, the week before that, May 20th, I'm in Paso, Robles, California again during Wine Week. It's Wine Week in Paso Robles, so it's gonna be off and popping. Make sure you get your tickets ASAP. And I'm headlining that one. Got a couple of funny comics opening for me. I'm excited because my sister's coming down. My parents are going to that one. They're gonna be in town for Wine Week the whole weekend, so that's gonna be great. Pressure's on. The whole family's out to watch me headline, but you know what? I'm excited for it. I'm confident in a lot of the old shit that I've been doing, and when I say old shit, it's still new because I recorded the special last year, which is almost done, by the way, and that was last May in Paso Robles, and a lot of that material is, I don't do anymore. So even my old stuff is still not even a year old. So I got that, and then there's like a bunch of new stuff that I've been working on for these last 2 weeks that are actually going pretty good. So I'm excited. I'm excited for you guys to see the new stuff, and hopefully I see you at one of these shows. By the way, you can get tickets for all these shows I mentioned at AugostinoComedian.com. That's AGOSTINO. My name is not like the month of August. It's Agostino. So AugostinoComedian.com or HomeschooledPod.com. Click on tour. You get tickets for all these. Hope to see you guys at an upcoming show. I got a lot more dates besides that in other states. Hopefully one near you. I'm going to Canada and stuff. But anyway, it's been a long time since we've had a one-on-one, you and I. So here's what I got to talk to you guys about. I got no guest today. We're not talking about movies, nothing like that. We are going to be talking about, good old stand-up comedy like we usually do on here. And just the journey. And, something that we've always done here at Homeschool Podcast is obviously not well-known comedians. I mean, I have had some great guests on, but I mean, like me myself specifically, you're not tuning in because you're a giant fan of me and I'm so well known, nothing like that. But what we do here at Homeschool Podcast is we've always documented the journey, so you're hearing it in real time. As if you were listening to some legendary famous comics podcast, someone huge that you listen to all the time, you're listening to them tell stories from the past and how they got where they are. Here at the Homeschool Podcast is in real time us going through the peaks and valleys, the highs and lows of this career and the career of performing artists and some of the challenges that we have to face, whether it be having guests on or when it's one-on-one with me. And when it's one-on-one with me is usually because I got something specific to talk to you about, and that's exactly what I got for you right now, so I won't take up too much more of your time. Without further ado, here's what we're talking about today, okay? The past 2 weeks, I've been a little depressed. Not necessarily because of career. I'm not going to use the word career because of where my career is going. I'm already kind of numb to that depression. But no, more in depressed of where my act is right now. We've talked about so many times the differences of, having 60 minutes of material and a headliner. Just because you had an hour worth of material doesn't mean you're a headliner. We talked about those differences before, and so it's weird to say is that I felt like, the past 2 weeks, I've said this to myself, I said it to my wife, I feel like I don't have an act right now. And you'd be like, how could you say that? You just did an hour in New York, and, I'm supposed to come see you next weekend. How am I going to come watch you if you don't have an act? What I mean by I don't have an act is there's a difference between someone who's going to go on stage, has material, or doesn't, or is going to riff, or whatever they do, and they can make you laugh. They can entertain you and make you have a really great night, okay? But that's not what having an act means. Having an act is like having a plan and, like taking somebody on a journey, whether you have 5 minutes, 10, 25, a half hour, 45, an hour on stage. Either way, you got to take them on a little ride, and it's having an act. And to have an act, you've got to like write out your set list from top to bottom, left to right, what works and what doesn't work, what's new and what's not new, and then you categorize it, and then you put it in the order it should be, and then you go and say that these jokes are should open with because they are relatable and it's going to get everybody on your side, blah, 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 blah. Then these jokes go here, and then the stories go at the end, and, that's having an act. Like, it's a planned out act with rhythm and bells and whistles, and that's what having an act is. It's not like I went on stage and I killed. That's great. But did you do it with a plan? Did you do it with something that you wrote and worked and rewrote again and tried it and wrote again and you tried it and then you wrote again and then you spent hours figuring out the order that they should go in and then you tried it and then rewrote again? And it's wonderful if you can kill and not have to do any of that stuff. That's fucking great. Good for you. I want the people in the audience to have a wonderful time. But having an act is something completely different. And it's more in terms of like industry also is going to notice if you have an act or not. If it's going to look like disorganized, out of place, you were just unprepared, riffing, throwing stuff out. You got to take people on a little journey. You take them on a story and you paint them a picture, whatever it may be. And when I'm a headliner, I plan a whole evening for you. I'm not just planning to go up there and do 45 minutes. I'm planning an evening for you. I put a lot of thought into it. The first thing out of my mouth that I wanted to say, to the last thing out of my mouth that I wanted to say, to, who I wanted you to see before me perform, who I chose to open, to, what song's going to play during, after. I mean, some comedians have music in their act or have like live music in the shows. If you do, like, this is all planned. This is an act. This is a performance. But you as a sole artist, you got to have an act. So if you told me, you got a showcase for Just for Laughs, Montreal, comedy festival or something like that. If you told me like, yeah, I got you a showcase, I would tell you like, I can't do it. I can't do it right now. I don't have an act. Like, it's one thing to like, last week I'm in New York. 45 minutes, had a great set. Everybody had a really good time. I was really happy with the results. That's that. And then but do 4 minutes. Do 4.5 minutes. And in that 4.5 minutes, give us jokes, bits, and stories. And in that 4.5 minutes, those jokes, bits, and stories have to be telling us who you are. What makes you different, showing us that you're stand out and you're not just another funny white dude or funny comic, whatever. Like, you have to show people that your act tells us who you are, because industry doesn't just want funny. They want someone they can sell. They want, like, what's your ethnic background? What's your sexual orientation? Where your rights lie? Are you an activist? Are you an animal activist? Are you a human rights activist? Are you pro-gay activist? They want something that people can really support and fall in love with you, and you have to give them all of that within your material. At the same time, jokes, bits, stories, hitting those three things in 4.5 minutes. You know how you get this? This is by having an act. And the audition act, the showcase act, is 4.5 minutes. That's called a TV act. It's TV clean. No, it's late night clean. I'm doing Jimmy Fallon. I'm going to do 4.5 minutes, and it's got to be, TV ready. Something not offensive. Something that crosses the line and crosses, the borders, but without going too far. And this is something that takes a lot of thought to put into. And the depression for the last 2 weeks came from me just in a weird limbo area where I've got all this material that I can do. So if you call me up and you say, hey, when I headline next weekend in my club, I can come down there and I can do it. No problem. Everybody's going to have a great time. So I got all that material. And then I got new stuff that I know works and figuring out where to go in there. Then I've got brand new stuff that's only probably been said the last 2 weeks out loud. Like, just premises, just ideas, not even fine-tuned, not even like as much punchlines as there should be. And I've got those, which I'm really excited to work on those. And then it's like, but where do those go? Where are those going to fit in to my existing set? And if you came up to me and said, hey, I got you a showcase for Just for Laughs, and I would tell you, I don't have an act. I don't know what I would do. Do I do the stuff I already have that I've been doing for the last year? Do I do the new stuff that I'm more excited about, but it's not ready yet? Do I do a combination of both, but they don't go with each other? It wouldn't show you who I am. It wouldn't show you how I separate myself from from everybody else, and I'm different, and at the same time edgy, and without going too far, and all this stuff. And it was depressing me because the new stuff that I was doing wasn't working. And what was so frustrating about that is that I knew that it should work. I know that I had gold. The comedians use the expression, like, I think it came from Seinfeld, like, it's gold, Jerry, gold. Like, you got gold. I knew it was gold, but it just wasn't coming out. It was gold that you had to dig for. And I was just like a little depressed about it because I don't want to do the easy stuff that I know that works, or the stuff that's like super, super relatable that I normally open with on the road, just to get everybody on my side. Like, I want these new things to work, and I'm just getting people staring at me, man, just staring at me, like I'm speaking another language, like, just, not a smile, not a chuckle, not a laugh, just not even like relating. I mean, at least they're listening to me. They're like locked in, but just not even like relating. And I know I have gold, and it's just so frustrating. And not only that, but I'm now having, aside from the audience feedback of like just not really getting a great reaction from it, but now I'm having like other comedians, my peers, who are verbally telling me this stuff isn't good, which is not the first time it's happened to me before. People telling me like, "Oh man, like, what that new stuff? What were you working on? Well, you gotta let that stuff go. You gotta be a little bit more relatable. You gotta do this." I've had that before. In these last 2 weeks, I've been dealing with that. Like, someone telling me I shouldn't talk about this, or that's too edgy, like, or even just their little, passive aggressive comics. Well, we went with the edgy stuff tonight, huh? Like, and it's not just edgy. Like, I know that it's original. And here's the thing, guys, is that at the end of the day, some of those comics are just mad they didn't think about it. But most of those comics just don't see the glass half full, or they don't look at things the way that you look at things, And I feel that one of my strong suits is writing, and one of my strong suits as a writer is being able to see what can be something and what cannot be. I've had jokes not work before. I've bailed on them right away. Like, tried it once, not going to happen. I can just tell right away. Or stuff that's not worked 3 or 4 times and then finally had to give up on it. But you never really give up on it. You put it in your back pocket, you lock it away, and one day it might come out and be, a good fit for something, another bit or something like that. But, I've had that before. That's no big deal. But when there's some things that you just know it's going to work, and why isn't it working? And why are people telling me that, like, it's just like too edgy, or it's too offensive? And it's stuff that I don't even think is offensive. Like, I'm saying positive things about groups of people, and you're coming up to me and telling me that it's offensive. It's just like, no, it's not offensive. You just don't, you lack a better word for somebody saying something on stage that you haven't heard of before. So these people and comics who are listening to me are confusing that this is not going to be a good bit, or this is not funny, or this is not something people want to hear. They're confusing that with just, you haven't heard someone like me talk about stuff like this before, or you haven't heard anybody talk about this before, and you haven't heard somebody not be afraid and going after these things, and, or, just, that's what it is. Just because it doesn't sound like stand-up comedy to you doesn't mean it isn't stand-up comedy. It just isn't yet. But you got to go through those, humps in the road to find it. You've got to dig the gold out, because the best treasure is buried treasure. Okay? The best stuff, it's in there. So for 2 weeks, I'm like depressed about, like, I don't want to do my old stuff. My new stuff isn't working, and I know it should work. I know it's like gold, and people are telling me to stop doing it, and I'm not doing well. I'm bombing, and I held my guns, and so I just kept rewriting it. I wasn't ready to let it go, because I know that I saw something in it. I have confidence that it could work. I was missing something. I was, just still digging it out, digging the treasure out of the hole. And that's the problem, is that people look at things like, if you take a ball or a glass, or, it's been described to me that people talk about my writing. They described it that way. Like, I take a ball and everybody looks at it like this, and I'll look at it like this. You know what I mean? I take flattery to that comment, and I think that it is true. Like a lot of these guys, these other comics, they couldn't see it, and it's because it's original. So do you want to just be like, not just another comic who just makes people laugh? Like, yeah, sure, you made them laugh. Maybe you were hacky. Maybe you're forgotten, not remembered. Maybe nobody talks about you like you're a brilliant writer and you're so genius and your material's so good. You want to have original stuff, and people say like your writing's so good and all that stuff like that. Then you have to not pay attention to people who are telling you that's not good, and that will never be anything, or it's too controversial, it's too dirty, it's too edgy, too offensive, and not funny enough, not enough punchlines, there's no premise in there, let it go. People that are saying these things, sometimes maybe that's the stuff you should pay more attention to, because when you do fine tune it, if you're right, it'll be so original. It'll be so, out of left field, smart. There are certain guys that just think that way. Your Burrs, Louis C.K. There's guys that just, write bits within bits. Just come up with these great things. And you gotta not listen to people. You have to stay true to yourself as an artist. Because if you believe in it, if you believe in something that it can work, you can't let these people get to you. You can't, the feedback from the audience. I mean, you should be listening to the audience feedback. That helps you to grow the bit, or how to change it and where you can work on it and fix it, sure. But you can't let it get to you to the point where you're so depressed about your writing and who you are as an artist, and you can't listen to your peers who are telling you to drop it, let it go. Just let those bits go. You're going to have to like bail out. Literally people telling me, bail out on that joke. Don't do this, don't do that, And it's something. You know that it's the style that you like. Just because it's not the style that they like, or the style that they're used to seeing stand-up comedy being, or their favorite comics doing, or their type of comedy that they do, just because it's not that doesn't mean it isn't something. It's just something else. So you can't listen to these guys. You can't let them get in your head. You got to believe in yourself as an artist. I don't care if you're stand-up, musician, a painter, actor, a live theatrical actor, whatever it is, the live performing arts, any type of artist. You can't listen to everybody else's opinions. You got certain groups of people whose opinions you trust, and besides that, you can't let them get in your head, because they are going to keep those original ideas out. Just because they can't see how to make it work doesn't mean it won't work. All right? Like I said, the best treasure is buried treasure. So start digging. Stay true to yourself, who you are as an artist, regardless of what people tell you. Because you know what? I rewrote it and I tried it, rewrote it, tried it, rewrote it, tried it, tried it, tried it. And I know when something's fucking good. I've been doing this long enough, and I got a good ear for it. And I got, a good writer's instinct. So I just kept at it, and I kept at it. And you know what? I found out how to fucking do it. And you know what people said to me last night after I found out how to do it, and I rewrote it, and I went out last night and I tried it in that order, and I went up there with an act, with a plan, that I had my structure ready to go. You know, afterwards what the comedians were telling me? I wish I thought of that. Really? Because for 2 weeks comedians were telling me that ain't nothing. And now people are telling me I wish I thought of that, because it was a diamond, it was treasure, it was gold that was buried. All I had to do was dig it up, clean it off, shine it up, and then you present it. And now you have something that is original, nobody else is doing, smart, and relatable, and you can use it. And now we can start building it into our set where it can go. So I did it. And you can do it. And everybody can do it. Don't listen to these naysayers. Don't listen to people who want to mold you to being something that they think an artist is, their type of art. Don't let someone mold you. The best thing about being an artist is being different than all the other ones. So why are you gonna listen to other people who get into your head? Stay true to yourself, hold to your guns, do you, be who you are as an artist. Don't ever fucking change. Don't ever let anyone tell you what you can and can't say or do as an artist. What new levels you can reach, what boundaries you can break, what stories will you be able to make work. Anything. You can make it work. A little moving around, a little structure, a little rewriting, put your mind to it, you'll make it work. And that's when you're going to stand out. That's when you're going to have material that comedians will say they wish they were you. They wish they thought of it. That's when you have material that's smart. That's when you have material that's original. Is when you're doing the things that everyone said couldn't be done, and you're making it work. All right? So that's the message for you today, is the best treasure is buried treasure. So get to digging. All right, you guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. Feel free to contact me about it, or if you have questions, or if you're feeling down. I struggle with depression from time to time as well. If you want to share that with me, I am open to listen or talk about anything that I just said today. So you can reach me on all my social media platforms. On Instagram, I'm at Agostino Zoida. My Twitter is like blocked for like the past over a month now, but you can go to homeschoolpod.com and click on contact. Also AugostinoComedian.com, click on contact, message me. Those goes to my emails. I'll get back to you. And thank you guys so much. Thank you for continuing to support the Homeschool Podcast, where we document the journey. Don't forget that only love can save the world. Don't forget to stay true to yourself. And I hope to see you at one of my upcoming shows next weekend, April 21st through the 23rd in San Diego at the La Jolla Comedy Store. And then you can see me after that in Paso, Robles during Wine Week. That's May 20th. Then May 27th, that's Memorial Weekend. I'm in Memphis, Tennessee. May 28th, the Sunday before Memorial Day, I'm in Shelby, Michigan. And then I got a lot of stuff for you guys in June, July, and August also. I'm going to Texas, Canada, Arizona, Minneapolis. A lot of fun stuff. I can't wait to see you guys. I'm Agostino Zoida. This is the Homeschool Podcast. See you next time. Peace.
Homeschool Podcast. Homeschool.
The Homeschool Podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
I don't want to do that.
Okay.
I don't want to do that at all.